has Brent's driving back, post is there, it's in! Davison across. They're checking in, tip, it's in, Alex Adams. Oh my!
Side of the net, it's in. Prince.
The Marty Toros are 1 point away from locking in a playoff spot here in the 2016-2017 campaign for the North American Hockey League after a split with the Bismarck Bobcats and a rowdy weekend last weekend at the VFW Sports Center in Bismarck. This week, the Toros are looking to pack the Pepsi rink as two matchups will be taking place against Brookings on Friday and Saturday at 8:05. It's the week of March 8th. This is Tauros Weekly. Welcome into Elevation here at the Mining Country Club. Tauros Weekly, as always, presented by Farmers Union Insurance. On today's show, Marty Murray will join us. We'll also talk to Eric Holmstrom and defenseman Colby Enns, the former Minot High standout. I'm Nick Hulberg. Thanks again for stopping in. Let's take a look back to last week and jump into it. And it was a matchup on the 3rd against the Bismarck Bobcats in Bismarck at the VFW Sports Center. Toros prevail in this one. 5-2 is the final score. Colby Enns, the former Minot High standout, has a nice welcome back to the Toros. 1 goal, 1 assist for him. Adams had a goal. Bross had 1 goal, 1 assist in the hockey game. Tyler Jeanson continues his hot streak. 1 goal, 1 assist for him. Martinson also scored. Park turned aside 19-21 on the night. Stephenson and Holmstrom both got 5-minute majors for fighting in the contest. On to Saturday, not the same outcome. The Toros fall in this one 7-3 the final score. The Toros had goals from Alex Adams, Stephenson, and Zwiner. Lucas Murray stopped 17 of 23. Vladimir, Haar, and Barry for Bismarck each had 3-point nights. Springman and Wien both fought in that hockey game as well. On the season now, the Toros are 6-4-2 against the Bobcats. Well, what does that do for the Central Division standings? Let's take a look, as the Toros currently still sit in that number 5 spot in the entire North American League, top spot in the Central, 8-point gap over the Minnesota Wilderness. The Toros are 6-4 in their last 10, by the way. Wilderness sitting on the 27-17-6 mark. Brookings, our opponent this weekend, they're 6-3-1 in their last 10, 13 points back from the Toros. 16 points back are the Aberdeen Wings in the final playoff spot, but a close race with Bismarck, who's got a 20-point differential on the Toros, trying to catch up, and Austin with 25 as well. They're no longer able to catch up to the Toros. Why are the Toros so hot? Well, let's look at the top 10 scorers and who leads the way for the Toros. It's Derek Frentz with 44 points on the year, just about a point per game for Frentz. 12 goals on the season, 32 helpers. On number 2 for the Toros, it's Alex Adams. He wears number 8, and he's 8th in the entire North American Hockey League for rookie points. He leads the North American Hockey League for rookies and goals. He's got 23 of those on the year. Not too shabby for a campaign for the rookie. 42 points for him. He and Jeanson tied for that number 2 spot. Reed Stephenson, 14th in the league for rookies with 40 points on the year. Zach Bross has 35 on the season, 32 for Nate Pionk. Nolan Sawchuk, the D-man for the Toros, he's a rookie. He's 14th in points for defenders in the entire North American League, 29 points for him, 28 for Chase Springman, and Jake Diddle with 25. Well, we've been keeping an eye on the all-time points leaders for the Toros in franchise history. Christian Moe still at the top of the ladder, 101 points for him. Chase Springman trying to track him down with the way it shapes up right now. Springman currently sitting with 94 points. The pace that he's on with the points per game on average, Springman will reach 99. Springman hoping to see if he can't go on a hot streak and take the crown of the all-time points leader. Johnny Walker, 81 points for him. He's still on the list, but Derek Frentz right behind him. Derek Frentz actually above him with 82 instead of Johnny Walker with the 81. Typo on the graphic there, but 89 is where Derek Frentz should end up here at the end of the season if everything continues on the path that it has so far this year. Tyler Jeanson, 73 points for him. He's on pace to reach 80. Let's look at the blue paint now on the goaltenders for the Toros that have been pretty stellar as of late. Friday night, it was again Austin Park that got another win, the goalie of the month for February. 11-3-1 for a record, 2.24 goals against average, and a .925 save percentage. Austin Park doing a nice job in the blue paint for the Toros. Lucas Murray continues to be the workhorse. 32 games played on the year for him, 18-10-3 for a record, 293 goals against, and an .899 save percentage. When we come back to Tauros Weekly, we'll talk to Marty Murray, the head coach and GM of the Toros, his thoughts heading into the weekend against Brookings, and his thoughts after a rough matchup with the Bismarck Bobcats last weekend. This is Tauros Weekly.
I had got a call. They thought my house might be on fire. My wife was at work and my son was at school. Smoke was just rolling out, and then you'd see the flames coming up. A very helpless feeling watching, knowing there's nothing you can do. You just stand there and watch. Very emotional. Farmers Union Insurance did such an excellent job with us. I can't imagine any insurance company doing a better job. Dreams, memories, everything was put back together the way it should be to get us right back on course.
Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
Looking for a mower? Look no further than Gooseneck Implement. At Gooseneck, we have the right John Deere lawn equipment for a range of homeowners. We offer riding mowers, zero-turn mowers, utility tractors, and even gators for the off-roading enthusiast. And when you buy from Gooseneck, you get the assurance that your John Deere equipment will have the parts and service support when you need it. Stop by Gooseneck Implement today and find the John Deere mower that's right for you.
I had got a call. They thought my house might be on fire. My wife was at work and my son was at school. Smoke was just rolling out, and then you'd see the flames coming up. A very helpless feeling watching, knowing there's nothing you can do. You just stand there and watch. Very emotional. Farmers Union Insurance did such an excellent job with us. I can't imagine any insurance company doing a better job. Dreams, memories, everything was put back together the way it should be to get us right back on course.
Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
Tauros and Bismarck Bobcats had a classic duel last weekend, a split on the weekend in the capital city. We're now with the head coach of the Tauros, Mr. Marty Murray. Thanks for some time as always here tonight.
My pleasure, Nick.
Let's go back to last weekend. Kind of felt like the old days with Bismarck. 4 total fights on the weekend. Looked like the score sheet made it look a little bit rough and chippy at times. Overall, your takeaway on the matchup with Bismarck?
Well, obviously, I mean, you look at wins and losses. It's kind of a, average weekend for us, and we thought we went down there Friday and played a pretty solid road game, and then unfortunately couldn't follow it up there on Saturday. So, they're a desperate team. They're fighting for their lives right now to get into the playoffs. So we just didn't, we didn't have the urgency or the game that we needed on Saturday night.
They've got some studs on that team. The Flatterby kid having a heck of a season, a few others. Do you, in those games when they're lighting it up like that, do you key in on shutting those guys down at all, pre-game kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we've played every team in our division so much that we know who their top guns are and what we need to do to shut them down. And, sometimes good players make good plays, and I think that was the case the other night. We allowed them to get on the score sheet, and it's hockey's a game of momentum. When they get a little momentum, it kind of seems to click, and that was the case on Saturday.
Touching on your club now, Colby Enns joins your club after playing for the Minot High Magicians. I just got done putting together the highlight reel for the end of the season banquet for Minot High. Boy, that kid can sure score the puck, and he proved that on Friday night at the next level up. Your thoughts on the Enns kid? Kind of nice having a player from your own backyard there.
Yeah, we went through February with 6 defensemen, so it's nice to have extra options on the back end. I thought Colby came in on Friday night in particular and had a real strong game, and he was in on the scoring. He got an assist early, and then he scored in the third, so it's nice to get that monkey off the back a little bit, and I thought he settled in and played a real solid game Friday, and then Saturday he was okay, but probably better Friday night.
When Bismarck is fighting the way they are, kind of strikes up some old memories for you. Is it fair to say that rivalry's back in a sense?
Well, it certainly was in stages this weekend. I think there's a couple spirited fights with, Wyand and Springer. They both had, pretty good tilts, and it did bring me back to the old days of the rivalry between Minot and Bismarck.
Kind of crazy when you look at the standings right now and to think that we haven't locked in a playoff spot. We've got a 25-point cushion on the last place team in the division. 9 games remaining on the year. Your thoughts on how this all shakes out? You guys are looking to keep the foot on the gas pedal and lock up a Central Division banner for a regular season crown. What's going to take to do that?
Well, I think it's kind of a formality that I think we're going to make the playoffs. But, I think our focus is now we have to we want to get first place, and we want to have that home ice. And during the playoffs, we think playing at the Pepsi Arena is a distinct advantage for us, and we want to utilize that down the stretch here. And every night's going to be a battle. Everybody's jockeying for positions or jockeying to get in the playoffs. So it's going to be a fight down the stretch, and I think that's a good thing for us. Meaning we'll need to be at our best coming in the playoffs.
Since you guys have moved into Pepsi Rink, you're almost unbeatable inside that venue. What makes you guys so good on home ice?
Well, I know guys are comfortable there for sure, and obviously, the fans are a huge part of it, and we've had 1,600 people in the Pepsi Arena. The atmosphere really gets cooking, and it makes for a good environment, and it's no secret that the guys feed off it.
It's kind of been fun watching those top lines produce the way they have on the year. A kid like Derek Frentz leading the team right now, 44 points. Those highlight reel plays that top unit's been making for you guys, or shouldn't say top unit, well, it's probably more of a color-coded lineup when you have so much depth, but going back to like the Frentz and Adams and some of those highlights they've made on home ice, that really helps your job as well, doesn't it?
No question. I mean, the thing we've talked about all season long is the depth we have up front and, guys contributing. But obviously expect a little more of guys that have been around the block a little bit, like a Derek Frentz or Reed Stephenson. And, Al's, I think, a special case being a rookie. He's a pretty good player. And have those guys, at your arsenal every night and ready to throw on the ice is a big plus. And like you said, makes my job pretty easy.
On to business this weekend. Brookings comes in. You guys are number 1 right now in the division. Brookings is number 3. They've got a player in Paul Cotter, number 6 in the entire North American League. How do you shut him down?
Well, they have. He's a very good player. He's hard nosed, and I think we have to, take away his time and space. He's a young player. He's a '99 birth year, and I think he's a guy that if we allow him to have space, he'll burn us. And you look at their top 6 forwards, and I rave about our top 6 scorers throughout the year. Their top 6, I think there's a 2-point differential between our top 6 and their top 6. So we can't underestimate anybody they have in their lineup, and they have their top 6 forwards are as good as anybody in our division.
It's going to be a fun night on Friday night, packing the Pepsi rink and chance to win $10,000. The door prizes on this list are just unreal. We'll talk about it in the later segment of the show, but for you on a Friday night that we're looking to pack the Pepsi rink, there's some things on this list here that we're going to be giving away that you'd almost like to put in your pocket and take home.
Well, maybe I'll sneak my name in there early on in the day, but there's a little Delta $1,000 gift card and the Crosby jersey, and I mean the list goes on and on. I think there's almost $4,000 in door prizes we're going to give away on Friday night there. So and beyond that, the chance to win $10,000 at Crack the Vault. So yeah, it's going to be a great night. Hopefully we get a good crowd and we can put on a good show for our fans.
What does it do when that place is at volume for you and your club? Obviously it has to energize you guys.
It's fun. I mean, I've played in a lot of rinks in my day and you can feel the energy buzzing out there. It almost reminds you of a mini NHL game. It really does, and our fans are engaged, and obviously I think they feed off our players if we're playing with good energy, and they kind of go hand in hand, and it's a win-win for everybody.
For you, is there one key on the weekend if you guys want to pick up 4 crucial points against Brookings and try to lock in that number 1 spot?
Well, I thought we were sloppy in our own end a little bit, in particular on Saturday night, so I think we're really going to have to, pay attention, be aware of our surroundings. I thought we let a few guys go loose, and they ended up burying the puck in Bismarck the other night. So we have to be aware of our surroundings, and attention to detail on the defensive side of the puck has to be there.
Final thing I have for you, I see that there's 4 rounds of golf at the Mining Country Club right here out the window on the store prize list. Who wins in a 4-round tournament between you and I on the golf course, you think? You ever see me swing it? That's the first
Yeah, probably you, Nick. You're a scratch golfer, I think. So
yeah, I only golf with 4 clubs for a reason, I think. So sure appreciate your time. Best of luck on the weekend.
Thanks, Nick.
That's Marty Murray, the GM and head coach of the Tauros. When we come back, we'll talk to Eric Holmstrom, who recently joined the Tauros on the back end. This is Tauros Weekly.
Meet the professionals of Trinity Sports Medicine. Trinity Sports Medicine has been serving the region's athletes and physically active population for more than 25 years. All of the athletic trainers at Trinity Sports Medicine are licensed in North Dakota and work side by side with Sports Medicine Medical Director Dr. Dawn Mattern to ensure the best possible care. Our professionals provide specialized medical care for preventing and treating injuries for the active people in our community. These medical professionals work hard to keep you healthy. But if an injury does happen, you can rely on the skilled athletic trainers to get you moving or back in the game again. It doesn't matter if you play for a competitive sports team or enjoy being active to stay healthy. You are part of the Trinity Sports Medicine family. Meet the professionals of Trinity Sports Medicine.
Back at Elevation here at the Mining Country Club for Tauros Weekly, presented by Farmers Union Insurance. We're now joined by Tauros defenseman Eric Holmstrom. And first of all, thanks for some time here this afternoon.
No problem. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
You come to Minot into the North American League from Des Moines in the USHL. And first of all, what's your overall thought on the Magic City, the Pepsi rink, and this Tauros organization? Seems like you found a nice fit here.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, the fans are great. The guys are great. I like the coaches. The town in general is just a great place to be, so I'm happy to be here.
For you coming to a first-place team in the North American Hockey League and in a very tough Central Division, good shot of going all the way to win the Robertson Cup, has to feel pretty good as well.
Oh, it's awesome. Every game's really exciting. You know, you got to perform your best to stay on top of the standings. So I think it's great. It's good competition. Like it a lot.
From the USHL to the North American Hockey League, the first question on that scenario for you is, what does this Pepsi rink rank compared to some of those other places in the USHL? Obviously, there's some pretty cool venues there, but Pepsi rink in Minot has to be up there as well?
Yeah, to be honest, Pepsi's one of the best rinks I've played all year. I mean, obviously the USHL, there's some good rinks, but coming from Des Moines, I feel like Pepsi is actually better than the rink I was previously at in Des Moines. So, yeah, it's an awesome rink. I like the setup. It's great.
What's the biggest difference in your mind between the USHL and the North American Hockey League?
Well, I think the pace of play is actually really similar. But in the USHL, the top-end guys are a little bit more skilled, and obviously there's a lot of NHL draft picks, and college commits there. But I think the North American League is right up there with the USHL.
You come from Farmington, Minnesota. How good of buddies are you with Austin Martinson?
We've grown up together, so we're really good buddies. You know, always playing hockey with them, and just growing up with them is great.
Pretty nice to be able to come to Minot to a place that you've got a longtime friend.
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, he showed me the ropes a little bit and the guys, so yeah, thankful for Austin.
Let's go back to last weekend, a matchup with Bismarck in Bismarck, and a brutal place to play at times, in a place that's a hostile environment. You guys split on the weekend, kind of a chippy game, a couple fights each night. So your thoughts on that Bismarck rivalry and the first taste of it?
Well, yeah, it was something else. The first game I kind of met, I forgot his name, but he pounded me a bit in the face and whatnot, and it was just a really chippy game. So, yeah, first time playing Bismarck. You know, it's something else, so I could definitely feel the tensions in the rivalry.
On to this weekend, Brookings is the opponent on home ice, looking to pack this Pepsi rink. And for you, what do you look forward to the most on this weekend coming up? Is there any big takeaway to picking up 4 points against a Brookings club?
I think every point's pretty vital to our playoff run, hopefully. But yeah, we just got to play our game, and I feel like if we play our game, you know, we'll have a good chance of hopefully winning the weekend. Good job so far being here in Minot, and best of luck down the stretch. Thank you, appreciate it.
That's Eric Holmstrom, defenseman for the Minot Tauros. When we come back, we'll talk to the former Minot High standout who just got done wrapping up his high school career with the Minot High Magicians. Colby Enns joins us next. This is Tauros Weekly.
We think the fire started in our bedroom. Thankfully, we all did get out safe. The house ended up being a total loss. There were a lot of tears. Our Farmers Union insurance agent was there the next day, and he not only came to see how we were doing, but he brought us a check to say, you know what, here's a little bit of money to get you guys going, and had us paid out in full within 2 weeks.
Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
We picked the right insurance company. We think the fire started in our bedroom. Thankfully, we all did get out safe. The house ended up being a total loss. There were a lot of tears. Our Farmers Union insurance agent was there the next day, and he not only came to see how we were doing, but he brought us a check to say, you know what, here's a little bit of money to get you guys going, and had us paid out in full within 2 weeks.
Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
We picked the right insurance company.
The Minot High School Magicians wrapped up their 2016-2017 campaign just last week with a fourth-place finish in the state of North Dakota. Big reason why is Colby Enns. He joins us now after joining the Tauros at the end of the season. Colby, thanks for some time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Looking forward to your run here with the Tauros, a hometown product, Minot, North Dakota. You played for Tauros at the start of the year, then back to the high school club this year. For you, let's go back to the high school season first. And overall, you guys have to be pretty satisfied with where you finished. It almost seemed like some overachievement maybe at times with a young club there, and you guys take a fourth place home from the state tournament.
Yeah, definitely. You know, winning that first round game was huge for us, and you know, with the team we had at the beginning of the year, I know there were some doubts going around, but I think we showed people that we were a decent hockey team. I
was talking to Marty just a few moments ago about the highlight reel that I put together for tonight's banquet, just right across the room here in the dining room area. There's a few hits in this highlight reel that you'll see tonight that you had that are going to blow your mind. Has that always been a big part of your game, that physicality? Boy, you lit some kids up in the high school ranks.
You know, I mean, it's just part of the game. And whatever you got to do to get the boys going sometimes, whether it's a big hit or you know, a goal or whatever you need, just get the boys going.
You had a nice start to your return to the Tauros. You scored on Friday night. You had an assist. How big is that to get that monkey off the back in the first game back with the North American League club?
Yeah, it was huge. Playing in Bismarck's always tough, and getting that goal was definitely huge for me. I was pretty excited.
For you, what does it mean to play in the hometown North American Hockey League club after your junior year of high school or during your junior year of high school? That has to be quite the accomplishment in your own mind.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. Getting to play at home, in front of your friends, buddies, people people you've grown up watching. It's pretty cool.
One of the youngest guys in the room, if not the youngest guy in the room, youngest guy probably inside the division. For you, what does that mean to you, knowing that you've got so much upside and so much room to grow here? Has to be pretty exciting as well.
Yeah, it's exciting, and being with a team like the Tauros, they're a great team, and they're head of the division right now, and the NA is such a great league. It's really an honor.
For you, what's the culture shock like going from the high school game in the West Region of North Dakota high school hockey, and no knocks there, but obviously this is quite the step up to the North American League. For you, what is the biggest thing you've noticed so far?
I think the speed. The speed's definitely a factor. Guys are a lot bigger, faster, stronger, and you just gotta be ready for it. I don't know, bring your game every night.
What's the mood like in the room? The guys treat you pretty well. Being the youngest guy in there, you taking some grief now and then?
A little bit. The guys they're pretty welcoming, so I like it.
On to this weekend, a matchup with Brookings. You get to make your debut or your again debut here on home ice for the Tauros, and a matchup with Brookings. We're supposed to be packing the Pepsi rink on Friday night. What is that going to mean for you to skate out for warm-ups on Friday evening? That's going to be a pretty special feeling, I'd have to assume.
Yeah, I think the environment is going to be it's going to be buzzing, and it's going to be really exciting.
How many family members and friends do you think you're going to draw to these games? They'll probably have some Enns t-shirts in the seats.
To be honest, this weekend, my family's out of town. They're not actually going to see me play, but I know I got a few buddies coming to the game, so it should be exciting.
I'm sure the old man is going to be watching online for the weekend. In your mind, is there anything special that stands out with this matchup with Brookings, just on the Tauros end, to pick up 4 points here?
Yeah, like you said, 4 points on the line. You got to have them. It's big down in the stretch here. We're going to make a playoff run, so got to have them.
Final thing for you, the Tauros came around 5 years ago. Boy, you were just a kid at that time. For you, do you have any special memories of watching the Tauros in that time and knowing that you've always wanted to play for this club?
Yeah, I remember watching a third overtime game, and I think it was Game 5 against Austin a few years ago, and I think John Lazat was the captain. I stayed for the very end of it, and they lost, but it was still exciting to watch. Sure proud of you, man. I've got to follow your career pretty much the entire time here. Great job with the Magicians, and hopefully the run with the Tauros goes as well as that did for you. Yeah, thank you. That's Colby Enns, defenseman and the hometown product for the Tauros. He makes his debut at the Pepsi rink this weekend on Friday night at 8:05 p.m. when Brookings is in town. This is Tauros Weekly. When we come back, we'll preview the weekend against Brookings. Plenty of giveaways and a chance to win $10,000 at Pepsi rink. This is Tauros Weekly.
Meet the professionals of Trinity Sports Medicine. Trinity Sports Medicine has been serving the region's athletes and physically active population for more than 25 years. All of the athletic trainers at Trinity Sports Medicine are licensed in North Dakota and work side by side with Sports Medicine Medical Director Dr. Dawn Mattern to ensure the best possible care. Our professionals provide specialized medical care for preventing and treating injuries for the active people in our community. These medical professionals work hard to keep you healthy. But if an injury does happen, you can rely on the skilled athletic trainers to get you moving or back in the game again. It doesn't matter if you play for a competitive sports team or enjoy being active to stay healthy. You are part of the Trinity Sports Medicine family.
Live at Elevation here at the Minot Country Club for another edition of Tauros Weekly. Only 9 games remain here in the 2016-2017 campaign. Tauros still in the top spot, looking for one more point to lock in a playoff berth here for the 2017 Robertson Cup playoffs. Let's look to this weekend now and see how the Tauros will do that. They match up against the Brookings Blizzard, the number 3 team inside the Central Division. And the Tauros and Blizzard have a pretty close matchup set up for the weekend. When you look at the goals per game, each team scoring just about 3.27. The Blizzard have 3.29 per game. Shots per game right in the same ballpark, just about a difference there of 1 in favor of Brookings. Goals against per game, here's where it's different. The Tauros lead that category, 2.73 goals against per game. The Blizzard, on average, giving up 3.2, but keep in mind Josh Boyko, 4th in the league for wins. He's got 4 shutouts. He's in the top 5 as well for Brookings in the shutouts category on the season. Tauros firing on again the shots per game at 32, giving up just 29. Brookings gives up about 34 shots per game. Keep an eye on Derek Frentz. He leads the Tauros. Alex Adams, Tyler Jeanson, Reed Stephenson, Zach Bross. You could go all the way down the list. The depth of the Tauros is a key factor in this one. Paul Cotter, he's the factor on the other side. 6th in the North American Hockey League for points on the season. 22 goals, 28 assists for him. Look for it to be a good matchup coming up this weekend. Tauros hold the season edge right now at 5-3-1 in the season series against Brookings. Lots of fun stuff happening at the Pepsi rink coming up on Friday night. Trying to pack the Pepsi rink and see if we can't have a sold-out show. Here's some incentives to make your way to the rink. You can win $10,000 on Friday night. Everybody's going to have a chance to win this stuff. As you look down this list, $50 in Shields gift cards, $1,000 Delta Airlines gift card, $100 worth of Tauros merchandise, 4 rounds of golf at the Mountain Country Club, all sorts of good stuff on here. The bottom of the list, a signed Sidney Crosby jersey. We're going to be giving all sorts of good stuff away coming up this weekend. Pack the Pepsi rink, brought to you by Dakota Agronomy on Friday night, and then Aflac brings you the matchup on Saturday. Both of these games, late start times, 8:05 both nights for the matchups with Brookings. A squirt tournament will be taking place on the Pepsi rink beforehand. So again, pack the Pepsi rink this weekend, 8:05 both nights against the Brookings Blizzard. Your chance to win $10,000 on top of all sorts of other prizes at the Pepsi rink. That's going to do it for us for this edition of Tauros Weekly. Special thanks, as always, to Marty Murray, the head coach and GM of the Tauros, for stopping by. Eric Holmstrom, the defenseman, and the former Mountain High standout Colby Enns, who made his return to the Tauros just last weekend. Special thanks to Ken Oda, the producer of the show tonight. As always, Ken, great job. I'm Nick Hulberg signing off from Elevation here at the Mountain Country Club. We'll see you Friday night for warm-ups at the Pepsi rink, Tauros and Blizzard, 8:05. Until then, have a good night.